afternoon. Today is the 12th of December and it's time for yet another not particularly interesting, very boring and probably quite vague vlog. So for the second time in about 6 weeks I'm up in Chelmsford visiting Simon and Dale at Langley Prestige. You would have seen a lot of cars from Langley Prestige on the channel, particularly in the last year or so, because this is the 6th visit I've made in 2023, and it's an appropriate time to be speaking about the subject of today's vlog, which is what on earth is going on with second-hand car prices. Have they fallen again? Obviously Langley Prestige is one of these places where they sell an awful lot of second-hand cars. Prices range from sometimes under £2,000 to over £20,000, although like a lot of dealers at the moment they seem to be stocking some rather cheaper cars, which makes perfect sense given the economic situation. So even the cheaper cars aren't necessarily worth what they used to be. I've seen quite a lot of prices having to be slashed in order to sell stock. Obviously it is December, it's a very quiet time for the trade, as many of you will know through channels like Shops Garage, Car UK, Shifting Metal, all these channels who run independent used car dealerships. One thing that a viewer very kindly reminded me of actually during the very vague vlog number 122 about classic car prices, which is a little bit different from what we're looking at today, but obviously not unrelated, is that since April, second-hand car prices on average are down by 23%. In October they moved down by 4.2%, and in November again another 4.2%. And the ones that are remaining strong are things that are small petrol engine cars that are cheap to run and economical, particularly with automatic gearboxes. Anything with an electric powertrain, anything that has a forbidden fuel engine, but we can't talk about on the channel anyway, anything that's high tax, anything that's just generally a bit large, is just dropping in value like a stone. It is quite amazing in some cases just how much things are depreciating. So if you want a car, particularly if it's not a small engine petrol automatic one from a desirable make, like, I don't know, some like Toyota or Honda, those seem to be the ones really holding their value at the moment, then this is the time to buy one. And you know, it's not obviously the best time for many people. It's just before Christmas. I don't know what week exactly you'll be seeing this. You might be seeing this after Christmas actually, thinking about the schedule that I use, but nevertheless January is when the trade tends to pick up a little bit, and at the moment things are just a little bit quiet. It's a very good time actually for dealers to stock up on cars from things like auctions and wherever else they find them, because actually the prices just generally in December are quite low, because people only really want to buy cars at the moment because they need them. There aren't too many sort of planned purchases that happen unless you're buying something for somebody you know for Christmas. It's nice to get a new car for Christmas. I'm sure everyone who's watching this would like a nice new car for Christmas. That includes me. But seem to be at the moment just rather a lot of cars just hanging around, and sometimes it's very unusual actually what is hanging around. For example, back in October I filmed 2 cars that are still at Langley Prestige. One is a 2016 Citroen C1 automatic, a very high spec one actually. You would have thought that would have gone by now. You know, normally the 108s and the C1s and the Toyota Aigos, second generation Aigo anyway, just don't hang around. For some reason that one's still here. Also the Suzuki Baleno. I imagine most of you would have seen actually those reviews long before you're watching this, but those cars are still there. Yeah, which is really strange. So there are exceptions to the rule. Suzuki Baleno is a very, very, very underrated car. It's not very exciting, but it is really, really good. I've driven both an automatic and a manual one. The one that Simon's got at the moment is actually a base model manual one. Well, it's not really base specs, it's got quite a number of features still. But it's not as luxurious as the top of the range automatic one that I drove in 2021. The C1, the thing about stuff like that is it's a small automatic car, and so the price does seem really rather high in comparison to some other cars. Like if it was a manual one, it wouldn't be, you know, 9 to 10,000, it would be maybe 7, maybe a bit less. It's very low mileage, but just you've got to find in the used car market someone who's prepared to pay the price for something, even if the price is sort of elevated. So when I was here last time, I filmed a 2014, I think it was, Hyundai i10 Premium Automatic, and that was a similar sort of price, very low mileage, probably one very careful owner. So there are some exceptions to the rule, but the ones that are holding their value are the small petrol, ultra emission zone compliant cars, generally also with automatic gearboxes. If I ever get out of this roundabout, it'll be fun, viewers, but at the moment we've got to stay here. It's just really, really interesting. I'm finding that sort of fascinating, watching what's going on in the market. A lot of you probably are the same, where you kind of sort of maybe waiting for prices to come down to a sort of level at which you think that they are going to be acceptable for you to make a car purchase. I hate it when people honk you at a roundabout. That is one of the worst roundabouts in Chelmsford. I do not recommend you use it. I thought it was going to be okay coming the other way with all the traffic, but it's not. I shall make a mental note to not go round this way in future. But anyway, yeah, so it's kind of the same sort of story as it was when I was last year, made the last Very Vague vlog. But things are a little bit sort of, I don't know, just sort of unusual at the moment. There are things which aren't making any sense and things which do make sense. If you've been following the sort of, I don't know, car auction scene, you know, Aston Barclay, things like that, there are some really weird bargains on there, and there's some cars that seem unsuitably be expensive. I don't know what the answer to all this, viewers, is, or what the answer to sort of traffic problems in Chelmsford are, but you know, I'd appreciate if you left your opinions in the comment section below, because that's what it's there for. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video in a comment below, and we shall see you again, hopefully for some safer driving.